Hey guys! So, I realize that this response is a little late, but it's been one of those weeks. I don't know if anybody else is 18 hours, but anyway, so I did read the article and I felt pretty strongly about it. I really liked it. I liked the teacher's, his plan for the class. I kind of hope to be able to have plans for a class of my own someday, but four quotes that really stood out to me were, I'll read you one. When he was asking the students about, they thought if the girl and the other guests on the talk shows, like the Jerry Springer one, since they get used, if they got used by a sense by the producers and the hosts, and one of the girls answered that yes, they do, and but that they also, as an audience, get used too because they watch them. And the point in this chapter really struck me because it was, I think, the first time through the article that he writes about how the students kind of had a thought-provoking question. And I think that is encouraging because he was really persistent in trying to figure out how to get the students to think and not just regurgitate information or only care about the cameras when they get to use the cameras and all that. So I really like that part. By the student admitting that, they were actually zombie ridden by the media because they were watching this, I think it gave them valid points for discussion, which really is exactly what the teacher was aiming for, to stir up some curiosity. Also, I really liked the quote, "If a sudden current begins to pull my students in an unexpected direction, the course gives me the flexibility to flow with it." And, I mean, I'm sure every teacher hopes for this one day, but I really hope that I could have a class like this because, it would be great to be able to let your students flow, let the students direct the class, really. And, I think that would give your students the most benefit, and really, as a teacher, you're always learning too. I feel like that would be beneficial for both sides in that sense. But I kind of thought about it in a way, like I thought about our class, and like I know Jeff does a really good job with kind of letting the class flow, but we still kind of stay on topic. Like we've talked about so many different things, but somehow they all can tie back into teaching, and I think that that's really important, is creating a classroom that you can do different things in to like maybe provoke different students' interests. Like this assignment hasn't been that great for me because I'm not really into making the video, but the last assignment with the blog, like I'm a photography major, so I loved doing that too, and it was easier for me and got me more excited. But who knows, like maybe this assignment maybe people make YouTube videos all the time and it's easier for them. So I really understood where they were going with that. Another quote I had was about this student that talked about how he worked on translating his song and what it meant for 5 solid hours in one night, listening to it line by line and stopping it and playing it over and over again. And he had a paper that was 3 pages long and typed, and I just think this quote really spoke to me because I think it's amazing to be able to reach a student or get a student that excited about an assignment to where they want to do it and they pour their whole heart out on it. And for me, if I were, when I'm a teacher one day, if I can even get a student to do that, I would be happy with whatever they ended up writing down on the paper. If I agreed with it, if I didn't like it, or just to see that a student gets that excited and that passionate about something is really, I think, the goal when creating assignments as a teacher. Another quote I put down was, "No matter what I do, I am hounded by unanswered questions, nagging uncertainties, and lingering doubts. I believe in the media studies course and in the opportunities it gives students. Putting the video equipment in their hands gives them a voice, a way to see themselves and tell their stories. Listening to a view listening to View and other media more critically helps combat feelings of powerlessness and marginalization. It provokes them to use their own brains to think. I really like this because it kind of hit home with me because I, as well as being an education major, I'm a photography major, so having a different, kind of like a visual way to produce, or a hands-on way to put across a message that I want to put across, is a way that I really express myself, and it makes me really think about what I'm taking a picture of, or what I'm trying to display or put across as a message. And I really understood this, and I thought that, these kind of things like the media studies and all these different technologies we've been talking about, the iPad, and these really are beneficial when they're used in the right way. When you don't just hand the camera out and let them do whatever they want, but you let them understand why they're doing it first. Like he said, like he wanted them to critically analyze the media they were watching, like TV shows, but he let them do that first before just tossing out the camera to them. And then when they did have the camera, it was just a whole new experience for them that was a lot better than what they probably would have done in the first place. So I really liked that. I also wrote down that I could relate to this quote. I came to realize it's using programs the kids watch as text for study. This might be soap operas, pro wrestling, music videos, commercials, cartoons, whatever students at a given age are spending their time viewing. Trying to indoctrinate them with a quality television isn't the point. Better to teach them to become more discriminating themselves, to be able to see through the glitz and the pseudo-style program that lies underneath. So I liked this because I, throughout high school and, the year at college I've had so far, the past 2 years, I really understand that using stuff that you can relate to is the best way to learn. And I think that teachers should stoop down to the level, depending on whatever age they're at, stoop down to the level of the kids they're teaching and help them understand in a way, or in a way that they're going to relate to from their generation, or whatever it may be. Like, he uses music in the article, and he talks about, whatever, I can't remember one off the top of my head, but he talks about the TV shows they're watching, and I think that really helped them start thinking about it in a different way, and that increased their interest in a lot of the stuff that he was trying to get them to be interested in. So I think that was really beneficial to the lesson plan and the way he approached the class. If it's a teachable moment that got away, just one of the many I've knowingly let slip through my fingers. Sorry, Kyle, I'm making this video for class. Another thing that I really liked about this quote, or that I could relate to, is that I've always thought about what it's going to be like one day when I'm going to be a teacher, and I really hope that this doesn't happen to me, but I kind of like that he was able to write about it, and that he could talk about, or put an importance on letting a moment like that slip through his fingers. Like when he didn't talk to the student about the inappropriate lyrics, I really thought that that bothered him, and that kind of made me feel better that he was a better teacher, and that he really wasn't going to forget about that student. So I guess the last thing is really the thought-provoking questions. I wondered that if this approach was the right way to go about teaching this class, or this type of class, like a loosely scheduled lesson plan, because he seemed to be kind of upset when a student took advantage of what he was letting him do. And I guess my question is this the right thing to do, or should there be a stricter lesson plan, and should he have approached the students about it instead of letting it slip away? The last question I had was, I was wondering if he should have, what technologies we can let our students use, like using video in different subject areas, if that would be beneficial. But those are my thoughts on it, so thanks.